Today, it's time to rock and roll with Project S10-K. Our budget V8 S10 is all done and ready for the road. We'll show you what we started and how we got there. Then we're going back to school. Project Old School, that is. A 53 F100 that we're turning into one awesome street rod. It's all today on Trucks.
Hey, welcome to Trucks. And today we're going to finally show you the payoff of our Project S10-K.
That's right. And we've been getting a lot of emails from you guys telling us about your V8 S10 projects, like this one. Gary Falls built this 91 S10 and we saw it at a show and shine, and we were blown away by the amount of detail that Gary went into to make it look like it came from the factory with the V8. The polished IROC Z wheels look right at home on the cross-drilled and slotted rotors, and the 2-inch drop kit gives it a muscular attitude. Out back, it's got stock drums on a 373 posi rear end. And check out this custom traction bar setup on the back that Gary fabricated himself. But by far the coolest thing about this S10 is the 95 Camaro Z28 LT1. It's basically stock, but pushing well over 300 horses into a 4L60E 4-speed automatic transmission and a custom dual exhaust, and that's more than enough. Trust me, I've ridden in this thing. It's fast. But more impressive than that is the fact that Gary did all the work himself, and his total cash outlay for this project is less than $8,500.
For our project, we wanted to set a budget that was totally reachable for the average enthusiast. So, we set a $10,000 spending limit on building a reliable, streetable truck. This is what it looked like when we first rolled it into the shop.
Now, if you remember when we first bought our 95 S10, it had 134,000 miles on the clock and a toasted V6 engine.
Now, in our initial walk around to make our plans, this is what we found.
Check this out. Both these cab corners are rusty and this one's rotted all the way through.
Yeah, looks like crap.
Man, we're definitely gonna have to deal with that. We were able to fix these without even going near a welder. We cut out the rust, made a template, and used panel bonding adhesive to hold the patch in as strong as a weld. Then, we used fiberglass filler, and finally polyester filler to smooth it out, and used a roll-on primer to finish it off before painting.
Next, we definitely had to do something about this stock ride height. I'm gonna do something about this stance, because the way it sits now, something my grandma would drive. But when I get done lowering this thing all the way to the ground and put some tires and wheels on it, it's gonna look real nice. We added Beltec's lowering kit with a 2-4 drop, 2 inches up front and 4 in the rear. Then we used a shim kit from Stealth Conversions to maintain our drive shaft and pinion angle alignment.
To handle the new power to come from our V8, we threw on a set of brakes and dropped the whole truck down on these awesome-looking ASA wheels wrapped in Avon 245 45 ZR 17-inch tires that we got from TireRack.com.
I wasn't exactly thrilled with the paint on this truck before. I know one thing, gotta do something about this paint job. That's about as boring as watching golf.
Yeah, it's boring, but you know it's in a really pretty good shape. I've been thinking about something like this. It's gonna look cool, but it ain't gonna bust our budget. Now to do that, we simply painted the truck from the belt line down instead of spraying the whole thing. We chose this cool silver because it looks good with our new wheels, and then we accented the paint with some stripe tape rather than pay someone to pull lines on the truck.
And Kevin created this really cool design by just simply taping it off and cutting out the pattern. And it didn't even cost an extra dime. Now, that wasn't the only sore spot with this factory look.
We are going to wake up the styling of the front end of this truck. There are tons of aftermarket options for this. For instance, we could put a front fascia on here that incorporates a spoiler, a lower air dam, maybe some fog lights, even a ground effects package for the rest of the truck. And this grille, this thing is beat. An LMC truck had all the parts we needed to paint the colors we wanted to give our S10 a new sense of style. We even got this cool cowl induction hood that now gives a little hint to what's underneath.
Yeah, and if you remember, we didn't have much under this hood when we started.
We got some issues here, man.
That thing runs like crap.
Yeah, you know what? This 4.3 V6, we can rebuild these and get some decent numbers with a little bit of help.
Nah, it's a waste of time. Let's face it, there's not a 6-cylinder out there that sounds as good as a V8 with headers.
Paul was right. So after we yanked out the V6, we added a shift kit to the transmission, which was in good shape, along with a new torque converter. We got a GM Crate 350 and added a Holley manifold and throttle body injection, and reused the wiring and serpentine drive system from our old engine, again saving us money. We wedged it all in and added two 12-inch pusher fans to keep her cool on the road, then took it to the local muffler shop to get a great-sounding Flowmaster muffler on the cheap.
And all that's gotten us to here. Now it's time to see what our $10,000 has got us.
That's right. When we come back from the break, we're going to hit the streets with S10K. Break it in a little.
Next, we'll pay off our V8 S10. And later, we'll build another stout V8 for Project Old School.
Hey, welcome back to Trucks, where now is the moment of truth.
That's right. We get to see where all our hard work is gone, see what this thing will do on the street. You ready?
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
S10K was designed to be a powerful truck that handles great, and it passes that test with flying colors. Well, it definitely looks a lot better than it did when we brought it in.
Yeah. Its appearance has been completely transformed from when we got it, and out here today in the sun, our new silver two-tone color scheme pops. The cowl hood really lets our V8 breathe and gives it that muscle truck look. A V8 is an easy swap, but we did have a hiccup in our shakedown. A leak at the dipstick got oil on the headers and caused some smoke. Our two 12-inch pusher fans and coated headers are really taking care of that extra heat generated by the 350 under the hood. I let go of the wheel and it tracks good, so dropping it down didn't mess with the steering at all.
With the 2.4 drop, the roll center of the truck is now much lower, and it handles pretty much like a slot car.
All right, here's the true test. Stays good and level.
Yeah, it does.
The more we drove it, the more we looked at it, the more we kept asking the same question. Why didn't Chevy offer a V8 in the first place? Check it out, man. S10K, we made our budget, this thing looks great, and it rocks, man. Kick it.
The best thing is, when you step on the loud pedal, it's got power to burn. Back at the shop, we invited over a couple of buddies that have already built their own V8 S10s.
Now, you've already seen Gary Fall's truck earlier in the show, but check out Carl Tinch's Pro Street S10 with cool flames and over 600 ponies under the hood. So what kind of times you pull with it?
We run a 693 at this point.
You're kidding me.
No, 98.4 mile an hour, I believe it is. Our 60-foot times, 146, 1.46.
So all of this just goes to prove that building a V8 S10 on a budget is just another version of good old-fashioned hot rodding.
One V8 down, one to go. Our fat fendered F100 is next.
Hey, welcome back. With S10K finished and out of the way, we can get back into some of these other projects we got going on. So now it's time to pay attention to Project Old School F100.
So far, we've pretty much got her stripped down, took care of some of the sins from the past, dropped her nice and deep with an adjustable air suspension for a mean look and a smooth ride.
So now we get to take care of this drivetrain, namely this tired engine and transmission.
You can go get yourself a turnkey crate motor and just drop the whole thing in, or you can go to the junkyard, get yourself a used block and a rebuild kit and put it together yourself. And then there's always that option of rebuilding the one you got.
The problem with that is that our 305 cubic inch boat anchor is just not worth putting any more money into. So we went to O'Reilly's and picked up this reman 350 long block for just over $1,000. So the money we would have put into machining is now sunk into this tested and assembled 350 4-bolt main block that's going to give us a solid foundation for whatever we want to do.
We want to build a reliable daily driver, and it's got to look cool too.
Exactly. We want to be able to open up that hood and knock your socks off. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start this process with this set of matched components from Edelbrock. We'll begin our engine build with these Performer RPM aluminum heads, cam and lifters, and this RPM air gap single carburetor aluminum intake manifold. Now all these parts together are designed to make 410 horsepower, and it all comes in one box.
The kit includes everything: push rods, hardware, and gaskets. The cam goes in first. Be sure to coat each lobe with a supplied break-in lube. And be careful not to damage the cam bearings when you slide it in place. To connect our cam to the crank, we're using the matching double roller setup from Edelbrock.
Now the top end of our top end kit are these aluminum heads. They've got 64cc combustion chambers, a 170cc intake runner with 202 intake and 160 exhaust stainless valves. Now we could use this intake that comes with the kit, but we're not going with the typical carbon intake setup. When we saw this, man, we had to have it. This is the new Edelbrock Performer RPM dual quad air gap manifold and carburetor kit. This kit comes with everything you need to convert your single carb engine into this dual 4-barrel work of art. The intake is the RPM air gap design that allows air to pass under the carb base to help keep the intake charge cool. And on the top side, 2 Edelbrock 500 CFM Thunder Series AVS carbs. The kit comes with this cool braided stainless fuel line and this progressive throttle linkage that allows you to drive around on the first carburetor until you get your foot into it, and then you've got 1,000 CFM on tap. And coated in the new EnduraShine finish, this setup's going to stay looking good for a long time.
When we get back, we're going to show you just how easy it is to top off a block.
And we'll add a trick serpentine drive, a bulletproof transmission, and slide it all between the frame rails.
Hey, welcome back to Trucks and the buildup of our hybrid crate engine for Project Old School F100. While Paul's yanking out that old 305, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to add a top end to a short block. With the block cleaned and a new head gasket in place, the new aluminum Edelbrock head is bolted in place with new bolts. Lubricate the threads by soaking them in 30-weight motor oil. This gives you a more accurate torque reading. Then, torque them to 65 foot-pounds. The lifters, push rods, and new rocker arms are next. And then we'll rotate the crank until the number 1 cylinder is at top dead center in the compression stroke. Then we can adjust to a quarter turn past 0 lash. Before we put our 350 in the truck, we just had to mock up the dual quad setup. It looks awesome.
We've got the old motor out. Now it's time to strip it down, because there are some parts on here that we can still use, like the motor mounts. All we've got to do is clean them up.
With the top end locked down, now we can take care of the drive system. We've chosen Zoop's serpentine system that comes with fully polished brackets and pulleys, a high output alternator, a polished AC compressor, and a power steering pump. It even comes with a new water pump. We wanted to complement the show chrome look of the EnduraShine carbs and intake, and the guys at Zoop's delivered. Their new serpentine systems are really trick. They're beautifully machined and polished in billet. The design lays out the accessories symmetrically, adding killer good looks. Now we'll install our serpentine belt when we do the final installation of the engine.
Now you don't think we were going to put that old turbo 350 on the back of that new motor now, did you? Well, you were right. This is a totally custom built 700 R4 from Bowler Transmission. Bowler builds each trans to the customer's specs and delivers them in either full polished cases, a fully smooth case, and painted in base clear. Our 700R is equipped with the Bowler Trans lockup module. That will give us a 1-wire hookup to power our lockup converter. All Bowler Trans are built to your specs for gear ratio, shift firmness, and lockup points. Bowler builds transmissions for all makes and models, and they all come with a warranty.
The combination of our new 350 and our custom-built 4-speed automatic transmission is going to give us great low-end acceleration. Plus, with that 7-to-1 top gear ratio and the lockup converter, our RPMs are going to stay nice and low on the highway. We also added a 7-quart Milodon oil pan.
Now we can test fit our engine between our frame rails and see how she looks.
Man, would you look at that.
This thing is so tight.
When we open up this hood, it's going to look like the inside of a jewelry box.
Nah, when we hit the gas, we're going to be hauling.
Careful.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Here's something really cool for you Duramex guys. With the price of fuel the way it is, you might want to think about getting one of these. This Flexolite fan takes the place of your mechanical fan and frees up to 27 horsepower from your engine. It's a dual 15-inch setup that moves 6,000 CFM. It has a variable speed control, will give you faster engine warm-ups, cooler AC output, and best of all, you'll gain about a mile per gallon or up to 6% better fuel economy just from this fan setup. This Flexolite fan take you about 4 hours to install, and it's only going to run you about $500.
We're seeing more and more dual-purpose 4x4s on the roads these days, and I know you guys are too. Wheels and tires are one of the coolest upgrades you can do to your truck, so check out these new Mickey Thompson Baja ATZs. They've got these functional side biters that really grip when you're off-roading. But the tread pattern on this massive contact area is truly what sets them apart. The variable-sized interlocking tread lugs offer excellent traction, and they've greatly reduced the road noise due to the inconsistent size and pattern of these lugs. As you can see, these tires run all the way up into the 20-inch sizes. These Mickey Thompson Baja ATZs will run you about $350 a tire. Thanks for watching Trucks. See you next week.